In the original Quake, every weapon feels heavy. The shotgun has the bounce, the rocket launcher has the boom, and the axe has the swing. But there is one weapon that feels less like a gun and more like you're holding a live wire for a massive electric generator. It is the highest DPS weapon in the game. It is the ancestor of the modern shooter tracking meta, and the only gun in history where if you pull the trigger, it can clear the entire room, including yourself, if you all happen to be standing in water. We'll talk about the shaft legacy, the technical oddity of discharging it underwater, and why this weapon was actually supposed to be a magical hammer. Today, we're talking about the Thunderbolt for Quake. The Thunderbolt is the god-tier weapon of the Quake arsenal. It's a hose of electricity that deletes health bars faster than you can blink. Here are the stats. Projectile. Visually, it's a giant lightning bolt. It's actually a hit scan beam. Instant damage to your targets the moment you pull the trigger. Damage, 30 per tick. If your tracking is spot on, you're able to do 300 damage per second. More on this later. Rate of fire, 10 bolts per second. Super fast. Rip your ammo. Range, it's fairly limited, 600 units. It's restricted to close to medium range. And for some additional stats, ammo type, cells. It's the only weapon that uses cells, so it's easy to save up ammo for the gun. Ammo cost, 1 cell per bolt. Ammo cap, 100 cells. And the Thunderbolt is also known as the lightning gun, the shaft, or simply the LG. The Thunderbolt is the reason we call tracking weapons the shaft in modern arena shooters. Technically, the Quake engine handles this as a continuous hit scan check. Because it fires 10 times a second, it creates a nearly unbreakable stream of damage. If your tracking is perfect, you are dealing 300 damage per second. Big damage. For context, a Shambler has 600 health. The Thunderbolt can theoretically drop the toughest non-boss enemy in the game in exactly 2 seconds. Pair that with a quad damage and yeah, they're all toast. The Thunderbolt is your high priority melter. In the single player campaign, it is the designated answer for sponge enemies like Shamblers and Vors that would otherwise drain your rocket supply. In multiplayer, it functions as the skill check finisher. While the rocket launcher is for splash damage and area denial, the Thunderbolt is for ending the fight. It is the most reliable way to punish an opponent who is caught out of position or suspended in midair, as the constant stream of damage makes it nearly impossible for them to dodge. The balance comes from the range and the risk. At 600 units, you have to be close enough to see the whites of an ogre's eyes. This puts you in somewhat close range for chainsaws and grenades. Furthermore, the discharge mechanic is the ultimate environmental hazard. If you fire this weapon while your hitbox is touching a water volume, it empties your entire cell reserve instantly, creating a massive explosion that jibs everything in the water. By the way, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, consider supporting the channel by liking, subbing, doing all of the YouTube stuff. It is greatly appreciated. Let's keep going. The Thunderbolt looks like a piece of salvaged 19th century laboratory equipment. It's got a heavy, brassy, Victorian horror aesthetic that perfectly fits the Lovecraftian vibe of Quake. It's an overly aggressive, 3-pronged plug with its hard angles. Don't touch it with your tongue. Listen to this. The sound design is amazing. It's not a pew-pew laser. It's a violent crack of thunder, followed by an angry, buzzing roar. Interestingly, early in development, Quake was supposed to be an RPG. The main character was going to carry a hammer of thunderbolts. When the game shifted into a fast-paced first-person shooter, the hammer was scrapped, but the Thunderbolt name stuck. You can actually see the hammer return in the first expansion pack, Scourge of Armagon, as the Mjolnir. What makes the Thunderbolt great isn't just the damage, it's how it redefined skill. The Thunderbolt has a unique knockback property. If you hit an enemy while they are in the air, the constant 10 Hz impact can actually pin them against a wall or keep them suspended. In multiplayer, this led to the shaft meta. If you could trap someone in the air with the LG, they were effectively helpless while you melted their stack. In an era of rockets and grenades where aiming at the feet was the rule, the Thunderbolt demanded you aim at the chest. It was the first true tracking test in a first-person shooter. It separated the lucky players from the aim gods. If you could keep that beam centered on a strafing opponent, you were the king of the server. The Quake Thunderbolt is a weapon of absolute power and pain. It represents the transition of the spray and pray of early shooters to the precision tracking of the modern era. It's iconic, it's dangerous, and it's the only weapon that makes you terrified of swimming pools. You made it to the end. You're awesome. What do you think of the Thunderbolt from Quake? Did you accidentally discover the discharge when using the weapon underwater? And have you ever had the pleasure of levitating an opponent in the air with the Thunderbolt? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. If you have a question that you would like featured in my Q&A series, leave it down in the comments section with the tag Frags and Coffee. You may get featured in a future episode. And stay tuned because our next weapon is the weapon of choice for a nerd wearing black framed glasses. Special shout out to Goat Commando 854 for my first super thanks. It's greatly appreciated. If you'd like a special shout out as well, consider supporting my work on these videos by providing a super thanks. Check out my membership tiers for special perks like early access to my videos, priority replies to your comments, as well as a special role on my Discord server, which is linked down in the description below. Enjoyed the video? Hit that like button, share it with friends, and subscribe for more Quake gaming content. And if you're looking for more, check out this recommended video right here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.